Hi, nice to meet you. My name is George Sukushnai, currently a student at CUNY Hunter College studying computer science. I'm interested in the role of data science mentor at AI Camp in order to continue my interest in education. As I've realized very early on, the access to computer science education is very limited. And so having a rich and up to par curriculum that engages students, I feel like is very important. And I feel like I can take part in helping in those efforts. Some of the value that believe I can provide is having experience in both of these fields. My initial experience is in full stack web development, where I was able to create my own sites and been fortunate enough to graduate from a software engineering boot camp that really went in depth in web development. And throughout my most recent internships, I went into the field of data science, learned about machine modeling and data science itself. And so these two sectors in tech have given me an exposure in two different sectors. And I think people who are just starting to learn about this think they could be able to understand and learn about these two different fields. What I hope to achieve as part of this internship and my time here is being able to plant a seed in students in order to have them understand um, just the importance of obtaining some of these skills. It's definitely at this uh, century we should be making sure students have a well-versed and rigorous CS education, and it should be accessible in their classrooms. And if that's not the case, then AI Camp is there to ensure that students have that. Um, I want to continue doing efforts in terms of increasing access to computer science education, as I look forward to taking on a teacher certification and CS education here at Hunter College as well. And I look forward to continuing doing that. As far as some of my experience in web development, I have a task here to introduce a little bit about what is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In the world of web development, these are very important tools that we use. Um, it pretty much is the building blocks of how a site like Google, Facebook, and many different sites that you probably visited are built. HTML, for example, is what I define as the skeleton or the bare bones of a site. As you can imagine, the bones of a person is very, how would I say, like bare bones or very light, right? There isn't very much to it. Um, and the comparison CSS on the other side here deals with how a site is being designed, what colors are being used, how are we designing the site? Is it defined for a device like your phone or like a computer? Or do we want a certain parts of our site to be bigger than other parts, right? Um, and then comes JS, which is a programming language, which allows us to make our site dynamic. And what that all means is that it helps us to connect to um, the entire site to um, servers, allows us to connect different aspects of our sites. For example, um, we can make our site dynamic so that perhaps we want certain parts of a site to open at when a person clicks a button. So, for example, in Amazon, you click the add to cart feature or the button itself, and you're led to the checkout screen. So, JS is a very important part of how you create a site, and all of these together is what you are able to create a site essentially. Um, you want to first start with building out the bare bones, getting from the understanding of what exactly you want on the site. Do you want a heading? Do you want anything dealing with pictures, images, or links? And then you go to styling, right? Colors choices, how big certain parts of your site is going to be. And then you make your site dynamic by making it much more easier to see. Maybe you create animations or whatnot. In the field of data science, we have linear regression, but all it does is dealing with continuous numerical data. And in essence, well, some examples of this is, for example, age and money. We have here a chart that seeks to mimic what a linear regression model is. Um, let's say this is our age in our lifetime. And this is our, let's say, our cash over a certain amount of time. We can use a linear regression model to predict, based on our age and historically what other people have obtained at a certain age. We can create pretty much this line over here, a line of best fit, to tell us at what age could we expect to be earning something, right? Stock prices is another thing that could be used in a linear regression model. And in essence, you're pretty much just showing the relationship between two different variables. Here is um, age and the money of our lifetime would be our second variable. And so the linear regression model helps us predict in the future what um, you want to be based on you want to predict. And so you want to make sure that when you're building this out, you really, really focus on what variables you want to be comparing to each other. And so that would be the way you would be able to predict an output from that. And last but not least, I would like to thank you for listening and thank you.